So today I'm going to be working on this Chinese diesel heater or diesel parking heater, whichever one you want to call it, or the crazy German name that it actually is made off of. But so I had a power outage. I currently got this thing set up to run on 12 volts. It's for this power supply that was originally for my A-net E-8 3D printer. Mounted to the side, just located the holes and screwed that in the shield this cover from the outside so I can make it 12 volts. I think it's a 20 amp supply, so a little more power than needed for this thing, but it makes it work well. But I had a power failure on it, and so now it won't start, and it just gives me an error code for E-8 for fuel or combustion issues. So first thing to check, is it getting fuel? It's getting fuel, but it's pouring out a ton of white smoke, so we're not getting combustion. And so we're going to try to tear it apart and figure out what the issue is with it. So get it taken apart here. Just use these leads into the power supply, and that is what I added on there to connect that. You can see it's pretty disgusting. This was used to heat an animal area, keep some animals warm for the winter. Here is the information on the model that I have. Fuel tank's full, so that's going to be nice and fun because I was adding fuel to it when I started it back up and it threw the air. And then I just have the intake filter right here hanging up on top, just with the fuel line bolt. So continue tearing this thing down. Alright, so we got the tank out now that I'm covering diesel, and we're draining that into a can. So just got that running down in there and letting it drip in. Kind of interesting is that this shelf in here is literally held in with nothing, so that's kind of cool. But get all the diesel off of it and we'll continue getting it apart. So after getting everything unhooked, and then the 4 screws out of the bottom here that come up from the bottom, we got the actual heater portion out. And I've never taken one of these apart. I've seen plenty of pictures of them apart, but let's get in here to start trying to figure out how this plastic stuff comes off. So gotten all the plastics off, front just unscrews, and then everything just kind of starts snapping apart, and then this slides out. So 12 volt model. This, the rear fan right there was just plugged in right on there. I got 2 green on this plug here on this model. The actual plugs are identical. And green looks like it's going to temperature probe. I'm guessing that is the glow plug. So continue getting this thing torn down. Gonna pull the rest of this electronics off from here. So to a lot of the comments saying that this is normally loose, as I took this plug out, the glow plug was able to spin out just by the wires. So I'd say that means that it's pretty loose. Pretty covered in fuel, but overall I'd say the thing looks pretty clean. Insulation looks good on it. Overall looks pretty good. Keep moving on and tearing this thing down. Alright, so we took the 4 bolts out that held that in. And it looks like I've got, if this would focus, diesel in here or something in this area, which I don't think I should have any diesel in there because that's supposed to be air intake. And this is kind of wet. But this gasket appears to be in good condition, so we'll set that aside. Now we're going to take out those 4 and see about how this whole, I guess I should come out the side to get the fuel line out. So we got the 4 bolts out of there. They are the shorter ones. Longer ones went to that part of the body. I'm just able to lift all this up. I broke that little plug free. And I gotta say, I think that is burning pretty good. This has been running on low, just low, for about, I don't know, month and a half, continuously. So, I don't know how many gallons that would be. It's going through about a gallon a day for every about 24 hours. But yeah, I mean, that looks pretty daggone clean. I don't know if that HZ9WD means anything to you guys, but I'm just going to kind of get everything cleaned up, wiped out here as best I can. Going to see if we can get some fuel to go through here, because it what I understand, it's just a drip system. Might have been that it's all wet because the glow plug was really loose, but get all that cleaned out. Get that cleaned up as best we can, and then throw this thing back together. See if it'll fire and stop white smoking. So far, I just kind of dumped out what was laying around in there. I got this pile of stuff. I hit it with some engine degreaser, good old Walmart, and let that soak for a minute. It is decently cold outside right now. Not insanely cold. It's probably sitting around mid-30s, 40 degrees. Hit the inside of here too. Doesn't look like that'll be able to damage anything. Make sure I got both the gaskets removed, so I'm not going to hurt those. And let that sit on there for a little while, then rinse them out. But this thing is incredibly light. Like, incredibly light for the size of it. So I got everything kind of torn down and cleaned out here. So got that pretty good and cleaned up in there. The little spots, I really couldn't get in with the wire brush to touch, but I think that's going to be all right. Just kind of waiting for everything to flash off. It's got a bit of brake cleaner on it. Then I also did something I'm probably going to regret, but I took the little plug out of the gas tank to try to get some of the debris out of there, since there was a bit of plastic debris. So now I'm going to try to get this guy back in there. I'm going to throw it on the fuel hose, try to fish the fuel hose down to the hole, then pull this in, and hopefully that works. All right, so far that's worked pretty good. I just had to help assist that in through because it's about the same diameter. Got that up. And now we'll put the O-ring and nut back on there. All right, and since my glow plug was pretty loose, I got this back cover off. Just take a 12 mil, snug that up a little bit. Then we'll go ahead and get the fan on. So getting things back together here. Just a quick view of the pump. It does show the direction of flow and the size. So this is a 12 volt, 22, I'm guessing milliliter that is, and then direction of flow out towards the plug. And here's just a quick better look at this power supply I'm running on here. Just made a template, screwed it in through the back. This already has screw holes in it. And then you can wire a cord straight to it, but when I had it on the 3D printer, I had this little cover on here to kind of make it fancy, but it was not really the right one. So it's supposed to hold on there and then another spot over here, but I don't have anything for it. So kind of works though. So now put it on, put this cover back on, run the wire on, throw some diesel in it, and we'll see if you smoke still. So here we are, button back up. I'm just gonna take these down into here, and if I read up right here, which is kind of hard to read, I've got voltage plus, voltage plus, voltage plus, and common. So I'm just gonna run from common to plus. Red and black, right there and there, and that's it's power for this thing. All right, so it's all put together, juiced up. This thing come on here. Go ahead and prime it. All right, so we got it primed. It's saying it's 8C out here, which is about 46 degrees Fahrenheit, which feels a hell of a lot colder, especially since I can see my breath. So powered on. And I know I don't have exhaust on here, but I'm in a big enough barn that I should be able to be all right for a moment. And if it starts pouring smoke out of it, I'm probably gonna turn it off. Yeah, we got a little bit of smoke starting. I don't like to prime those. Now that we got ignition, most of our smoke's going away. And we got blower. sounding good, looking good. Sounds ridiculous blowing onto this steel table though. We've got heat. I'm gonna run this for just a couple minutes. Again, I'm in a big open building with terrible insulation, as in none. There's none. Just wide open pretty much, and let this run for a minute. All right, so not a good sign. I'm no longer getting combustion sounds. I'm getting blower and it's cooling down. So I imagine we're getting air again. Yeah, speed's rolling down again. But I just got a little puff of smoke. And then I stopped hearing the combustion happen. So I think I got glow plug firing again. I think that's that logo there, as it's lighting the glow plug again. And I can hear my power supply straining. It does a little like whistle, like not whistle, but like a noise when it's getting strained. And now we're getting a bunch of smoke again. All right, this is kind of weird. It's saying it's calling for fuel. I have a logo there, and my pump is not running. So it sounds like my fuel pump might be seized. And I have fixed this once already with this machine. So there it is, E-8, which is a fuel combustion issue. The same one we originally had, but I'm now not getting my fuel pump tick. So we will unhook the power supply once this finishes the cooldown cycle, open it back up, and pull the fuel pump and get it working on the bench. So now it's fully powered down. It's no longer showing active on like the fan or anything on here. So undo the snaps, unhook the power, we'll get back into it. Right, so I got just a 12-volt battery, got the pump pulled out, these leads off of here, and I'm just going to touch them to the leads inside there, just alternating positive, negative, switching them. So see if I can get this in frame a little bit here. Not really, but just touch them, not getting anything, spin them around, then try it again. So get a little bit of spark, and then just keep kind of doing that and going back and forth and throwing some brake clean through here, maybe a little bit WD-40, you know, whatever you feel like it's not going to hurt it, and maybe you hurt it, but it's already dead, so what's going to happen? Then get it cycling again, and then throw it back in. All right, so after cycling a little bit, I'm throwing some of this dry lube in there. Again, it's what I had nearby. Taking the leads and just tapping them. You don't want to hold it, but just tapping them. You can hear it cycling. You can hear it shooting stuff out of my hand. So that's all we're looking for. Got it good, got whatever debris was in there cleaned out or whatever made it seize up, hopefully. There was a bunch of like plastic and grit in the tank. So I washed that out, but it might have had some dirty crap in the line or something, so let's throw it back in. All right, so a couple minutes later, we're back together. Let's check it. And it's working again. Power it back on. Probably gonna smoke a little bit like it did last time, getting fired up, and then hopefully it actually runs for a while now. Really need to try to get a better pump, because that's, like I said, that's the second time I've had to fix that. Or add a filter. A filter would probably help as well. All right, that actually fired up quick. Real quick this time. Not getting fuel pump, but I could hear the glow plug ignite something in there. pump is running. Got ignition, I can hear it fire up. Give it a little bit to get some warm air blowing, and then probably go put it back into use. So we lost ignition. Is it gonna hit? Ooh, it's smoking real bad. Is it gonna hit the glow plug again? All right, so just turn the fuel back off. Getting pretty smoky. Glow plug is back on. Ran for about 30 seconds before it kicked off. I don't know if it doesn't like the exhaust being straight out underneath too, with nothing for it to go to nothing. There, it got ignition without fuel added, so it's just burning off what's in there. I'm gonna try to find something to block that up a little bit, get a little bit higher off the table. All right, so we've got it lifted up a little bit here. Still have glow plug, still have fuel adding. It's heating up. And we'll see how long this wants to run for. So just kicked off the glow plug. So the glow plug icon is no longer on. Still adding fuel. Still hear it running. Flames sound a little weird in there, but it's still running. Alright, so we've been running for about 15 minutes now. We had it running on high. High for this is 6 for about 8 or 10 of that, and then we've had it running on 1 for a little while. So I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up well, but not only does the fuel pump click, but when there's high draw on this particular power supply, it kind of chirps. And it just stopped as I got close. So that's kind of weird. So now it's just stopped, if you can hear a difference in the video. But ignition or fuel pump is still running, and that's a light click. Actually, that just quit. Fuel pump just quit. Huh. Sounds like we're probably gonna get an error again. Unless it's just cooling down, because that's still really hot. I don't know. So got it all hooked back up in the mess of an area where I run this thing. Got the exhaust hooked back up. Run through some pipe and outside. Out here doesn't get hot enough, so that extension cord laying there is not a problem. And it is standing my concrete, but to go that much farther would be a pain. So we're not doing it. But it's running, and I believe my fuel pump is starting to go out. So I now confirm the size, and I can order me a new one. It's been about 4 or 5 days since the last video. I ran this for that day that I took the video, and now firing it back up since it's starting to get cold again. And it says it's 9C out today, but it's about 32 actually, so I don't know if my thermostat's bad or it's picking up some heat around this thing. Just running it on manual 1. Fuel pump still running, same fuel pump that I'd fixed twice now, and we're putting out some nice heat. Got the exhaust ramp aside and off the pad now as well, which I've been meaning to do for a while, but I hadn't done it. But back up and running, still doing good.